From the high desert southwest and an indiscreet shave down located in the deep recesses of Ouch's basement, broadcasting north from McMurdo Sound to Ice Station Zebra and east and west across all time zones to our members throughout the world, this is Badger and Blade Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever on this big blue rock you call home, and welcome to this edition of Badger and Blade Radio. We had a couple of polls up this last week on the video library. One was OCD, meaning how OCD are you with your shaves, and the other was the shaving haberdashery, which we'll get to in just a few seconds. As expected, the OCD poll turned out that 36% of you say that you sometimes match your AS, your soaps, and your fragrances, with 33% saying you wing it, 18% saying always, so those of us that are very OCD, and then 12% said no. And as promised, the surprise is the member with the best overall comment, which you can review on those polls, was Antique Hoosier, one of our older members, and he will be invited to be one of our next member spotlights. Now on to the shaving haberdashery. This is what you shave in. The results were rather odd. Some of the comments were extremely funny, and believe it or not, 26% of you shave in the buff. Now, if you are a straight razor shaver, that can be a real issue, so we certainly hope that at no point in time somebody calls you Shirley.
I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley.
3% say they use a towel wrap, 20% say right in your underwear, and there is one vote for shaving in a kilt. Now, that person did not reveal who they were, but we'll just let you ponder on that. So those are the poll results, and the best story was from Smat at You, Eric. So once again, Eric will be invited to be one of our member spotlights in the near future. After the break, we'll have news and events around badgerandblade.com, including some important PIFs, as well as the upcoming Mohr auction. And then finally, we will have our first member spotlight with CMH 737. We'll be right back.
Field glasses are useless until adjusted. Every man's eyes are different. That's true of skin and beard. You need a razor that adjusts to your requirements. With the Gillette adjustable razor, you change the blade angle by turning the micrometer dial. You shave so easy, so fast, you hardly know you're shaving. Cleaning's a snap. Just rinse, shake dry. The Gillette 195 adjustable razor with 6 super blue blades, just 25 shillings.
Welcome back to Badger and Blade Radio, everybody. Let's talk PIFs. For those of you new members that are listening to the show for the first time, or if you've perused the forum and seen the initials PIF, that basically means pay it forward. This is where generous members will take items from their own collection or new items and offer them up in a contest forum for you to win. Well, we've got a very special PIF going on right now, as normally and traditionally, PIFs are available to all members. This one is specified for U.S. active duty military members in a thank you for all they do to save our freedoms. Well, the forum steward George over in the General Save discussion, as well as members D Folk and Dr. Colossus 11 with some others, have put together a huge box in a way to say thank you for those people serving in our active duty military. What's in the box? Tons of soaps, razors, brushes, a little bit of everything. So even if you're not eligible for this PIF, please stop by that thread and thank those military members for all that they do. Also, if you're a brand new member, we'd like to welcome you to badgerandblade.com, and don't forget to stop by the Hall of Fame and introduce yourself. There have been some new stewards to badgerandblade.com, and we'd like to congratulate C. Vargo. He will be your new forum steward in soaps. And Keith, Music Man 1951, will be taking over the reins from Mike as the forum steward for fragrances. There also has been a couple of moves where Rock Viper, Sam, will be the forum steward in the score, the shave of the day, and the clubs and brotherhoods. Also, the most important thing going on right now as we prepare for the Mohr Memorial Auction. Please check out that thread on how you can donate and how you can become involved in the annual auction here on badgerandblade.com. In October, that's all everybody will talk about, and it's basically to help and assist the Breast Cancer Foundation as we lost one of our biggest members, Sue Mohr, to breast cancer. She was a vendor and one of the first members here on badgerandblade.com. So check that out, and please get involved. After the break, we'll have our first member spotlight with CMH 737, so please stand by. We'll be back right after these messages.
Here is a special announcement from Wilkinson Sword. The skill of the Wilkinson craftsman has yet again set the standard in shaving with a premium Wilkinson Swordmaster. The edge on the Swordmaster has the hardest coating ever put on a blade, so the edge that's Wilkinson sharp stays Wilkinson sharp for superb comfort, shave after shave. The Swordmaster Premium Double Edge from Wilkinson Sword, the name on the world's finest blades.
Welcome back to Badger and Blade, everybody. We're very happy to have our first member spotlight with CMH 737, better known as Chris on the forums, and we'd like to thank him for spending a Sunday evening with us. How are you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We appreciate you taking the time to do this. And for those of you that are wondering how Chris was chosen or drafted, however you want to put it, about a month or so back, we had a PIF in our video library forum for a movie night package, and Chris was the lucky winner, and in very small print, I had also indicated that he would be our first member spotlight. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris, and how did the traditional wet shaving bug bite you?
All right. Well, I guess for starters, I'm 52 years old, and I'm married, and we have a 6-year-old little girl that actually starting first grade tomorrow, Monday that is. And I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually a native, believe it or not, and went to school here. I can't seem to escape. I graduated from Georgia Tech, so went to school here and was really active in the Boy Scouts growing up, assistant scoutmaster, and I'm still actually a member of the National Eagle Scout Association. And I'm a big sports guy, love going to sporting events, and one of my goals actually is to go to every Major League Baseball park, and I've only got 6 more teams to go, so I'm getting pretty close.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Kind of my thing. And I also I really like throwing darts. That was one of my, I threw in 2 different leagues here in Atlanta. And so you want to talk about acquisition disorders? Don't even ask me how many sets of darts I got. So, I'm a movie guy. I really like movie and old TV shows, sci-fi, westerns, police dramas, so I, kind of enjoy that sort of stuff. And I was after I finished at Tech, I went into the Army. Actually, I went to officer candidate school and was a helicopter pilot for 10 years. Active duty, I got to live in Germany for 3 years. That was most excellent. So I was there from 90 to 93 with a 5-month interruption with the first Gulf War. So we got to go do that, play in the sandbox over there for a while.
I remember that well.
Yeah, so that was interesting, but I made up for it in skiing because I was a big ski guy. So I was in Ansbach, Germany, which is only 90 miles basically north of Munich. I was about 40 kilometers west of Nuremberg, and it was great for skiing. I mean, I could drive. 4-hour drive. I'm in the heart of the Alps in Austria, so I made it a point because you can go glacier skiing in the summer. So I made a point of skiing at least once during every month of the calendar year.
Wow.
So yeah, that was fun. I even had, I got a chance. I was lucky. I got to go to the 92 Winter Olympics and ski, over there for about as a spectator. Let's make sure we make that point clear.
Oh, did you get the gold?
Yeah. Well, I got to see some. I didn't see a gold medal match then, but I saw Team USA versus Germany in a preliminary round of hockey, and I saw the 90-meter ski jump and women's slalom. And that was in that was in Albertville. Of course, we were staying in Le Mouilleur, the Three Valleys. So that was, that was great.
I can imagine.
Really enjoyed that. But at the 10-year mark of active duty, the staff work starts kicking in and not flying as much. And so I thought, I'm going to go and see if I can do this for a living in the civilian sector, and made that happen. So I got out in 98 and still doing that. So, that's what I'm doing now. Just
well, I know that they say that the worst thing you can do is take a pilot out of an aircraft and stick him behind a desk.
That is a true statement. So now my desk is, up at 40,000 feet. So that's all right.
So, as far as the shaving bug, what caused you to get involved in the whole wet shaving, or traditional wet shaving, I should say?
Well, I will say that, generally speaking, I can't really pinpoint something specific other than probably, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, I was, it could have been I saw watching some movie or something like that. And it triggered a memory of like being at my grandfather's house, and I remember him. He was the Old Spice guy, my grandfather, and I had the brushes and I don't remember what kind of DE specifically, but I do remember it was a twist to open. So I'm guessing it was probably a super speed probably. And I actually used, back in the day when I was in high school, I had an Old Spice mug of soap and a brush. Didn't use a DE at the time. That was Gillette Track 2, I believe is what it was. And so, I had been using the cartridges, throughout the years. And so I can't remember exactly what it was that kind of got me thinking about it again. But suffice it to say that one day walking through a mall and saw the Art of Shaving store. And so, I moseyed on in there, and I was like, oh, yeah. And so, I ended up, I bought a jar of the Art of Shaving sandalwood cream, and ended up getting a AmeriCorps 34D, one of the online vendors.
Sure.
And that's how it hit me, and it's snowballed since then.
Well, that brings up a good point. So with all the products available, and you and I have spoken about this in the past, about the fact that we happen to love shaving soaps.
Yes.
And with all the products available, and I won't tell anybody, obviously, for privacy reasons, that he has over 270 soaps. With all the products available, which ones do you like the best? I mean, can you pinpoint something that you really just think really stands out to you?
Yes, actually I can. I really, I tell you, I think a lot of us, on the forum, a lot of us is like, well, what's your favorite? Well, it kind of changes, over time and whatnot. And, but I got to be honest with you. There are three soaps in general that are the trifecta for me. I mean, the absolute top three. And what I mean by that is, there are two factors for me personally that are the most important thing about a soap. And that is the scent, specifically the strength of scent. Because I'm a guy that likes really strongly scented soaps that are really robust. I'm that guy that likes to have his socks knocked off, or, like being in a candy store or something. I like it. I want to know what I'm using. And the other thing that's as important is slickness. I like it's got to be slick, because even when I was using DE, and of course I used a traditional straight razor now, and I like slickness. So with those two things in mind, my top three are, and this is what works for me in the water in my house, but my number one favorite, Sterling. And it has happened over the past year, because I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard through the grapevine that he had changed one of his suppliers on one of his ingredients. And I thought, well, I'll try it again, because I tried it before, a couple of years ago. And I always marveled at the slickness, but the scents were, there was something about them that didn't really cause me to be a huge fan at the time. But I thought I'd try them again. And whatever he's done, whatever he's tweaked, oh man, I'm into Sterling big time. That's my number one. And specifically of the ones I've tried, because I've tried 27 different scents of Sterling. My number one favorite, this is my absolute number one favorite puck of soap right now, and that's the Sterling Iced Pineapple.
How come I knew you were going to say that?
Oh my God, I just love it. It's just dynamite. And here's the thing that's surprising. Normally, and I'm talking about pairing up a fragrance. So, Executive Man, which is also one of my favorite, is supposedly the Creed Aventus clone, if you will. It's a wonderful fragrance, the Executive Man. But for me, the Iced Pineapple and the Creed Aventus, they were like made for each other. And oh my gosh, I love the Iced Pineapple. That's just dynamite stuff.
Well, that's good. That's actually really good to know, because I think I have like 3 Sterling soaps right now, and I had kind of backed away from them for the reasons that you mentioned, and I was not aware that they had changed some formulation. So that's for those of you out there that have tried Sterling in the past that may have shied away from it. It might be a good idea to take a look at them again, obviously, because if you can trust anybody on this forum as far as soap testing, believe me, it's Chris.
Well, I like what they're doing. So, I'd recommend. One thing I will say is, and I'm not trying to be a salesperson at all. I mean, I don't have any interest, association with Sterling other than being a customer. But their samples are quite generous, and
they are.
It's a whole. And they're very reasonable. So, I like that. Iced Pineapple is my favorite. I like Executive Man, Spice, Island Man, which is really a dead ringer for the Creed Virgin Island Water. And his latest one he came out with, now I'm not exactly how sure to pronounce it, but I say Piacenza. It's an ADP, an Acqua di Parma, dead ringer. It is fantastic. So those are my favorite Sterlings. My second favorite soap maker, well, it's everybody's either favorite or not.
Does it start with a T by chance?
It does. I like Tabak. I really do. It is just a super uber slick soap. The scent actually, I was never. They say Tabak you either love it or you hate it. I really was not in either one of those. I was sort of in the middle in terms of scent. It's fun to joke around about it and about other, polarizing products.
Oh, are you speaking of the veg here, there, Chris?
Yeah, I guess we could. Should we bring that up now?
No. We don't want to have people try to blow up the station.
So the scent of Tabak has really grown on me. I like it so much that I have the full product line. I really like it. So that's the second one. And my third, and I won't bore you anymore, but my third is Barrister Man. Right. I've just been a fan from the first time I tried it. It's really good. I love the scents. Unfortunately, my favorite of his, he doesn't make anymore. And it's I'm actually I see the donut hole. I see the bottom of the container now, and it saddens me. But I'm not sure even how you pronounce it, if it's Sarian or Sarian, but oh my gosh, is that good stuff. And the Fougere Aromatic, that oh man, that's a good one. And I like the Adagio and the Cheshire and even their Bayrum. And the other one that is phenomenal in terms of scent, I just totally dig it, is the Anise and Vetiver.
Oh wow,
man, that is just good stuff. I love it. And it's funny because I don't even like licorice or, back in the day, ouzo. I just don't even like it. But the scent in the soap, balanced with the vetiver, oh man, I like that one. So those are my 3: Sterling, Tabak, and Barrister Man.
Well, and the Seiran, or however you pronounce it, I still have probably a dime-sized snurtle sitting in the back of my shelf somewhere that I won't use, because I know once I do, it's gone forever. Because that's probably one of my favorites from Barrister and Mann. Well, speaking of all that, how long have you been a member of Badger and Blade?
About almost, I guess about 2.5 years. I think it was the beginning of January or February of 2014, I think, is when I officially joined. I mean, I had been, checking out the forum for several months prior to that, but I finally joined in, I think it was February.
Yeah, I think
2014.
I think most of us lurked around a little bit, probably for a couple of reasons. One, we were self-questioning why we were on a forum about shaving to begin with, and before we actually joined. And that leads me to my next question: what do you like most about Badger and Blade?
That's a good question, and I'll honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind is the tone of the posts. And I guess what I mean by that is it's a friendly type of discussion, I think. And it seems like there's not, because I think we've all probably been on some other forums, and I like the fact that here at Badger and Blade, there doesn't seem, and this is just my impression, but I don't get a feeling that there's a lot of elitism, if you will, or judgmentalism. I mean, hey, people like what they like, and so and other people are more power to you, type of thing, rather than saying, what do you mean you're using this Nagur on this Jaina, or whatever. I mean, so I like that, the fact that it's very cordial. That's one thing. I also like the generosity of the members, generosity in terms of willingness to help out, as well as PIFs. I've been on both ends of the PIF, giving and receiving, and that's really great. I like the sense of humor, which I think that's one of the things I like so much at Badger and Blade is especially when you get over in the journal section.
Oh, the banter is just wonderful.
And holy smoke, and it can take a turn. I mean, in a direction that you really didn't think it was going. And I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's really funny. And I like the humor also with some of the polarizing products. It's all good fun.
Sure.
So I like that.
Well, I think, what happens in the journals and pretty much all over the forum is, somebody said to me one time, I think it may have been one of the moderators, that if we could somehow bottle all of the generosity and the gentlemanly behavior that is on Badger and Blade from all over the world, because we've got members in every single country on the planet, that we could solve the world's problem in one fell swoop.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think so. So, it's been, I like it. I think we got a good group.
Well, and I think what also is really important, I think, especially in the journal section, I think people are measuring what they say a little bit more when I'm lurking around, because they never know that some small little sentence will end up on the radio show. And for me, it's great because you guys are writing the show for me, which is wonderful.
Well, I don't know if I'm part of that, but it is funny. I get a lot of entertainment. It's great.
What are there any items that you would like to see at B&B that you haven't seen before that would make things better?
I like, in terms of, are you mean like product wise or forum wise?
No, just forum wise more than anything else.
I gotcha. It's got something for everybody. So I'm not sure that I can really think of anything specifically that I would like to see added. I will say one thing, but it's already been added, and that is the video library tutorials. I think you started those up recently.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff, Dave. I got to tell you, because you actually helped me out on how to post some pictures, in the, on the, to post some photos from an offsite, the 3 different ways to do it. Right. So, that helped me out.
Well, and I think the whole onus behind that was that we have the wiki, which is a nice place to go, but the video forum allows you to look at it, see where it's going. We've got so much more planned, and as far as photos, that's been one of the areas that I know that the admin and moderator team have been working at to make it easier to post. Because the only negative side about posting from an offsite hosting is that if you ever leave, some very fine pictures will go away. So they're working on lots of things behind the scenes, but I would have to agree with you. If I was to try to pinpoint one certain thing that I would like to see happen on B&B, I guess I would say you can't mess with perfection, as weird as that sounds, because to me it's the friendliest place on earth, to coin a phrase.
Yeah, I agree with you. So,
well, now here comes a big controversial question for you, Chris. Do you have do you have a preference between double edge, single edge, straight edge, or injectors? You knew I was going to bring that up.
Well, I will say first of all, I like using the various products, but sure. My preference is a traditional straight razor. That's my number one. However, let's just say that for some reason all my straight razors would disappear and I was left with an injector, with a Schick injector. I'd be perfectly happy. I like the injectors, and the thing is, I didn't even try one until a few months ago. Again, I was the lucky person, one of our members piffed me just out of the blue, say, hey, you want to try one of these injectors? And the first time I used it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So, and hey, I tell you, I've got a really thick beard. It's like, do you know what copper safety wire is? That's like, it's just so. And if I go past, a couple of days, which is very rare. I'm a shave every day kind of guy.
Right.
But I did this past Lent. I actually went a week. I had a week off and didn't shave for a week. And I tried actually. I was like, let me take one of my best straight razors. Bit uncomfortable, So I said, I know what, the injector. So that just made short order of that. So I do like the injector. Yeah,
well, it's funny you mention that, because another member had sent me, when I first got into straight razors, and you were a very big part of that, because you and I started right around the same time, and I know that you had mentioned to me, hey, why don't you try a straight? And I had no idea. And I'm a Tabor, one of the members here, had sent me like 18 different razors to try over a 3-month period, and the bug bit me, and that was it. And then he sent me a PAL adjustable injector. And it's funny how no matter how long you've been, traditionally wet shaving with DEs or carts or whatever your choice of weapon, I learned something new today between you and Sam, Rock Viper, that because I wasn't overly impressed when I shaved with it, and then I was watching you and I think Juan and some other guys just touting how perfect they were, and I'm scratching my head going, okay, what's going on here? Well, today, Major Rich had started shaving with an injector recently, and he had the same results I did. A little bit of irritation, not the best shave, and I said, okay, good, I'm not the only one. And then I think it was either you or Sam that mentioned that with an injector, pretty much the handle needs to be almost perpendicular with the body of the razor being right up against your face, thus increasing the angle. And that was like an epiphany to me. I was like, oh, okay, because I had been holding it like a DE.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully, give it another shot. And I can't wait to hear, what you say, and I'm looking forward to hearing what, Rich says. So,
great. Another AD as my wife is about to shoot me with an arrow.
My wife just kind of rolls her eyes.
Well, there's a couple of new products coming out. I won't mention them right now, but one is an injector that's going to be coming out because I've always been in love with the Tradier razor. The lines of the razor have been beautiful, but they've been unobtainable for quite a while. But there's a new injector razor coming out very shortly, which we're going to showcase, I believe, in September. That actually is an injector, but it uses the Feather DX style blades. And it's got it's fantastic. So we're looking forward to that. But I think I will give the injector another shot now that I know what the heck to do with it. As we wrap up here, Chris, any final thoughts for the members, new members or old, about Badger and Blade?
Well, I would say a couple of things actually that come to mind. One would be use what you like. I mean, you might hear about, a certain product that garners a great deal of buzz, and, it's all this high praise. And if you don't like it, then don't use it and don't feel bad. And conversely, if you like something that doesn't get a lot of buzz, well, who cares? You like what you like. And so use what you like and what works for you. And another thing that I would say is, I would say this also. We do a lot of kidding around with the enablement, and it's great. I mean, it's a lot of good fun. Keep things in perspective. We're having a lot of fun, and it's a great hobby. But don't let it interfere with your real life in terms of finances and work and home and so forth. Keep things in perspective. Don't take yourself too seriously, and when you're, in the posts, and have fun with it. And I would say one other thing is, don't be shy about PMing somebody, a total stranger. Maybe you see a post and you kind of want to ask a question, but maybe you're a little bit timid about posting it. Well, PM the person, and ask them. Or maybe you see a photo and you really, it's like you like something, or you have a question about what's in the photo. Send them a PM, and guess what? You'd be surprised what kind of friends you end up making. So. Well,
and I think you brought up two really, really important points. One was use what you want. There are so many products out there, and if a cart's what you like, use a cart. We joke around about it, just like Lilac Vegetal. I know your feelings on it. I happen to be one of the chosen, so I like it. But the funny thing is that what I love about this forum more than anything else is the fact that, sure, people have their opinions, but they're not opinionated, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, they're not going to try to force you into trying something that you may or may not like. And that's the beauty of this. And to me, and this is going to sound nuts, but I mean, there is a magical feeling about the people, the gentlemen, and the ladies that take part in this forum. And I really think that a hats off and a nod needs to go to the administrators and moderators for creating that vision that's been able to keep the way it is for so many years.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with that.
Well, Chris, I certainly appreciate you taking your time this evening with us and giving us some great insights. Your enthusiasm is something that I hope that the members will find like a virus, because I think that as you and I have gotten to know each other fairly well, a lot of things in common, flying being one of them, obviously, and just the excitement of watching somebody who's never tried a soap. And to me lately, the biggest thing is following new people on the journals and watching how their shaves progress, from one shave to 350 shaves, whatever the case may be. And it's really, it gives me hope for the rest of the world that we're actually building such a strong community.
Yeah, I agree. So it's been a lot of fun, and I definitely enjoy, when I hop on the site, visiting with folks, and you learn stuff, and it's good fun. So,
go ahead.
Certainly enjoyed talking with you, Dave. Yeah, definitely.
Well, there you have it, B&B members, our first member spotlight, first of many, and Chris did a fantastic job, and we'd like to thank him once again for spending the evening with me. Chris, have a wonderful week upcoming.
Thank you. You too. It's been my pleasure.
Good night.
All right, good night.
That brings another episode of Badger and Blade Radio to a close. We'd certainly like to thank again CMH737 for that fantastic interview, as well as all the members of BadgerandBlade.com for your fantastic support of both our YouTube channel, the B&B Radio Show, and the Video Library Forum. We've got some good news thanks to your input. We are going to be moving to a podcast format in addition to our YouTube page and the videos we have here on the Video Library Forum. As we work out the logistics, we will make an announcement to that effect so everybody across all platforms can enjoy these radio shows. Also, we've got some good things coming up as far as interviews, with plenty of new vendor interviews, member spotlights, steward spotlights, and believe it or not, yes, it has been done, we will be having an interview with that mysterious person known as Ouch. So stay tuned for that later on this year. We'd like to thank the moderators and the stewards, as well as the administrators, for all the hard work they do behind the scenes each and every day in making BadgerandBlade.com an enjoyable experience for everyone. We'd also like to thank you, the member. Without you, BadgerandBlade.com wouldn't be here, so please keep supporting BadgerandBlade.com, and don't forget that if you want to give a little bit more, you can always contribute. Just check out the contributor area on the website for details on how to do that. I've been your host, Skyside, for Badger and Blade Radio, and we'll see you next time.